So then, of course, we're faced with the funding chasm, which investors call it the funding gap, but entrepreneurs call it the chasm. We feel it deeply. And, you know, I think what's interesting for Arjuni is that, you know, we have an incredible demand for our product, and our turnover is ridiculous. I mean, we don't keep product in our shop house for more than 2 weeks. So what we really needed was just a line of credit so that we can purchase inventory. But just even this basic financial tool isn't available to us because we're based in Cambodia. Cambodian banks only enable loans that are secured with hard title. And Western banks just find Cambodia too risky. And in fact, you know, at one time we had a small amount of credit that came from the United States based on my history with the bank. And then somebody reviewed our account, discovered we were from Cambodia, and immediately voided the account without any kind of notification whatsoever. So Cambodia is a, you know, is a serious red flag for other developed countries. So then there's this balance beam. You know, venture capital, there's actually, you know, I won't say quite a few venture capital firms in Cambodia, but a good number. But their primary concern is how much cash can you absorb and what's the return on investment. And, you know, we are still small. And so the amount of money that we can absorb and deliver the kind of return that they would like is still limited. And then the return on investment is a concern for them because we're a social enterprise. You know, their question is, well, how long does it take you to train your staff to perform as opposed to just a regular enterprise? Or how long does it take you, you know, what's your retention rate in comparison to other enterprises? And then the social investment folks, you know, and again, everybody has their own agenda. Everybody has something that they want to achieve. And so with social investment firms, they have a very specific mission. And the hope is that you somehow fit into that mission. The problem is some of those definitions are so narrow that it becomes impossible to fit. And so, I mean, one example is one of the social firms that we applied to, they said, we like what you're doing, but we need you to be a conduit. We need you to train your staff and then send your staff to other companies. So basically hiring, teaching them specific skills that they can then take to other companies. And I, you know, given the extent of the traumatic circumstances, I was very much against that. I really felt like retention was key and a sign of success for this particular population, and that the fact that we actually kept our staff as opposed to transitioning them to a different company was actually an asset. But they disagreed with that. And so that's just an example of, again, there's their mission, and then there's our mission, and if you don't have that perfect fit, then you can miss out on the social investment realm. So we were in a, you know, I had run out of my own personal resources. We had a viable business. I mean, there was no question that we had customers and that we were able to make the product. But I was very close to having to shut down after that first year. That's the rescue mission. Enter ARUN. So yeah, I mean, I think there's many things that I appreciate about ARUN. I mean, they've been a fantastic partner, a fantastic mentor. But what I really appreciate is their flexibility. And I don't mean flexibility in the sense of leniency. Their evaluation, their analysis was very strict, but they were very good at recognizing impact in the way that it was delivered, and not being so incredibly picky about the packaging. So their first question, of course, was whether or not we were sustainable as an enterprise. Their second question was, well, how did we define impact? And then they would take that definition and they would figure out, was that a definition that they could get behind? The answer was yes, but then they asked, did we have the capability to be able to actually achieve that impact? And so again, I think their broader definition of what it means to make a social contribution, particularly in a place like Cambodia that just inherently requires flexibility, personally, I'm very appreciative.